Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, June 28. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has challenged members of the Disaster Risk Management Council to develop a policy on the disposal of plastic bottles. Mr. Holness asserts that the improper disposal of plastic bottles has been wreaking havoc on the island's infrastructure in times of natural disaster, particularly the drainage system.
In your deliberations, in your considerations, we would want to hear what do you think could be some of the solutions so that the government can start to put together a comprehensive plan to deal with this threat.
The Prime Minister was speaking at Tuesday's meeting of the Disaster Risk Management Council. He called on Jamaicans to take personal responsibility and make better decisions about where they live, build, dispose of their waste, and care for the environment. The Prime Minister, meanwhile, says that while the island has suffered over $4 billion in damage caused by the recent rains, his government is focused on disaster risk management.
I am pleased to know that some well-needed equipment, such as fire trucks, waste collection trucks, ambulances, off and inshore vessels, and seismographs have been obtained, with additional items to be procured. Our needs are great, but we remain committed to boosting our capacity to respond.
This year's Disaster Preparedness Month is being observed under the theme, Disasters Happen, Prepare More, Repair Less. A contract has been signed for the construction of offices to house the Island Traffic Authority and the Transport Authority in Westmoreland. At Tuesday's signing, Transport and Mining Minister Mike Henry said the move was to create a one-stop shop for improved commuter services and effective enforcement of regulations.
Important here is to finish these as quickly as possible and bring them in on time, and therefore offer the service to the people of Westmoreland that they don't have to travel that far and that distance in able to be able to achieve the very results that are important to their everyday life.
The facility will provide Westmoreland and adjoining parishes with public transport applications, certificates of fitness, driver's licenses, and other services. Ground was broken recently for a similar facility in Maypen, for which construction is now near completion. Tertiary institutions are being encouraged to include students as equal partners in their education. In making the call, Education State Minister Floyd Green says more successful models of teaching incorporate young people in all levels of the education process.
I would suggest to our universities that if we are to truly take advantage of the opportunities that the future provides, we will have to start incorporating our students in that sort of curriculum development, delivery development, and importantly, in the evaluation process.
The Minister of State was speaking at the 2017 U.S. Schools of Education Biennial Conference on Friday. And finally, both houses of Parliament on Tuesday paid tribute to former Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller, who will retire from representational politics shortly. It began with Leader of Government Business Everald Warmington tabling a resolution for the House to pay tribute to the retiring Southwestern St. Andrew MP.
And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be conveyed to her with expression of our highest esteem.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness praised Mrs. Simpson Miller for being a leading voice in the promotion of climate change and gender issues and her constant regard for the welfare of the poor and vulnerable in more than 40 years of public service.
Portia Simpson Miller has embodied for many Jamaicans the grit, determination, and resilience that is awe-inspiring in the face of obstacles.
Mr. Holness and other speakers also paid tribute to the diversity of Mrs. Simpson Miller's service, having represented the People's National Party as both a councillor in the KSAC and as a member of Parliament. In 2006, Mrs. Simpson Miller became Jamaica's first and to date only female Prime Minister, an office she would occupy twice. Among those who served in her cabinet was now Leader of the Opposition, Dr. Peter Phillips, who spoke to her leadership and dedication to the country's development.
I served in her cabinet after challenging her for the leadership of the party. And I would like to place on record that not only did she entrust me with perhaps the most critical portfolio of finance, but that she gave unfailing support to all the measures that were required to take Jamaica through a most difficult period.
And in her last address to Parliament, Mrs. Simpson-Miller encouraged her colleagues to always put the best interest of the people first, saying her commitment to and regard for Jamaicans remains her greatest source of pride.
This is it. This is where my political story, which began over 40 years ago, ends. My heart filled with gratitude to you, the people of Jamaica, who gave me the privilege to serve at the highest level. I was always driven by a single purpose. I wanted people to feel that they had value and that they had an equal stake in everything Jamaica has to offer.
A reception in honor of Mrs. Simpson-Miller was also held at Vale Royal. Tuesday also marked former Finance Minister Dr. Omar Davies' last day in Parliament. His resignation becomes effective Thursday, and he too was honored by several of his colleagues in Gordon House. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.